All right, man. Torture Talk After Hours. You know what it is. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about Wack 100 siding with Akademiks over Kendrick's affiliates, and he says he's going to side with Ack on this. We rolling with Ack. So let's get to it. Torture Talk After Hours. You know what it is, man. All right, man. So let's get it going. This comes courtesy of The Answer. Let's get it going.
We rolling with that. Now, I hope they ready. I hope they ready, baby. I hope they ready. Cause we playing dirty.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy, The Answer, man. You remember when Ack went to Kendrick's show? Dave Free pulled up on him. Ack talked about it. Seemed like it was real cool. They had an understanding, no beef. Word get back to L.A., it's like Ack got pressed. I ain't see nobody deny that. So the back on Fig dudes is telling him he got marked out. Now, what?
I don't know what's happening. I can't tell y'all whether Ack got pressed or not. I'll be honest with you. If he said Dave Free said what he said, then I'm telling you from and I said this on my other John, I believe he got pressed. Because if he said Dave Free said what he said, then how is that not being pressed? Are you on some streaming shit, or are you on something else? Because if you want something else, we here right now. So, I mean, see, the thing is, you don't know what people got, because he said they had some videotapes of this. So, trust and believe. I seen Akademiks cry over. Man, listen. I'm telling y'all right now, what it's looking like, he did get pressed. That's what it's looking like.
Side is Wack going to choose?
So, let me just say this before I play this clip. I want to say in the most respectful way, because unfortunately for these guys, this won't be a back and forth. But I want to address it with grace, okay? You guys are going to have to start showing some talent to get some actual movement. Ack is going to give you, not a stimmy, but we're going to give you a slight push, but it's okay. Check this out. The fellas over there at Back on Fig, I just want to send a nice, concise warning to y'all. You should box within your weight class. I want to be very clear. Y'all boys couldn't even handle Adam 22. Ask Adam how I had him panicking. Y'all boys are very different leagues from where I'm at. And I
will say this. Akademiks, he might not be able to fight physically, but he definitely does know how. He the shit with computers. And he has a big, big influence when it comes to his audience. Now, a lot of his audience I would say this, a lot of his audience really do give him a lot of pushback. But that's where his channel is at. He doesn't have, his channel, Akademiks' channel isn't a channel that is, how would I say this, is basically a bunch of yes men. It's really not. If you read the comments, like if you go and read the comments, a lot of them disagree with him. But they stand with him because he's basically a person that's open. He's open to say how he feels, and if he's glazing, he basically says that. He doesn't live in a world where, in my opinion, he doesn't live in a world where he doesn't deny his bias for Drake. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of people don't get that about Akademiks. He stands on what he stands on, but he also isn't delusional enough to not admit it, if that makes sense.
think you want to bark up this tree. I do have a lot of love for you guys, especially AD, the Fig community, or Fig community world. But I want to just advise y'all, if the water level is getting too high and y'all are unable to sustain, y'all might want to stick to the valleys and hills y'all know and avoid the mountains you don't. Stick to the sharps, stick to the flacos, and perhaps even stick to the Adam 22s. And last time I checked, I think he even gave you the beats. It's a different level here because everybody needs a, number one, I never meant to bring up, first of all, very clear. I didn't want to, I thought me about the TDE like 3 times was kind of, I never want to say something to make the other people feel like they have something. So I would try to be fair. I left it alone, moved on. But that's the guys who ain't involved, who probably are close to those guys, not to say. And apparently that's back on Fig. So I've never seen this clip, but I'll watch it now. Listen.
Now, I will agree with that. A lot of y'all do get involved directly because it's a difference between commentating on something but actually getting involved directly about something. See, if I was to get out here and do a reenactment of something, right? If I was to do a reenactment of something and I was closely tied to a person, that could look like me interjecting myself in between what actually happened. Now, again, I believe that he did get pressed, but I also say that that's between Dave Free, Anthony Saleh, and Akademiks, and whoever was there. Anybody that's outside of that, you're basically either speculating or someone told you that. That doesn't necessarily mean that happened because you wasn't there, I wasn't there. We only speculating. I believe he did, but that does not mean that it's true. You know what I'm saying? Now, Akademiks told his side. This where I believe that the ball's back on Fig went wrong. They told a side that they wasn't even there. So, Akademiks said what happened. If Dave Free and Anthony Saleh never came out and said what happened, then we only can go off of what Akademiks said, even though we can't really believe what he said. But we can't take someone who wasn't there word as gospel if they wasn't there. So that either one or two things happened. Either Anthony Saleh and Dave Free told them that this happened, and they said it's okay for them to say what happened, or they just made it up. Now, they could have told them, Anthony Saleh and Dave Free could have told them this story and said, well, you can sensationalize just like he do, because he's the sensational king. Just say what happened, but just sensationalize it. And that's where I say that Akademiks is wrong, because number one, you do nothing but sensationalism. That's all you do, all the time. And now even when you read in the Diddy trial case stuff, you sensationalize. And now you're upset that 2 other streamers or 3 other streamers is actually sensationalizing a story. Come on, bro. You said it's just streaming. You do the same thing when you say it's just streaming. So how are you mad? I don't get it. I don't understand it.
There a couple days ago at the Detroit show, and he thought it was just a talk. Well, that's why this is what he's saying to us. He thought it was just a cool little exchange. Right. But you got marked out, and so, you know what I'm saying? Now you from TDE, boy. That's what Max said.
Oh, my God. Let me just play the whole clip again.
There a couple days ago at the Detroit show, and he thought it was just a friendly talk. Well, that's why this is what he's saying to us. He thought it was just a cool little exchange.
Right.
But
it's very much a cool exchange. I literally said, if I went to TDE show, after I said, if the blind TDE lifts a hand, it will be the last day living. If I there, and when we spoke, there was shout when me and Anthony shouted at each other first. Then he came in, we sat down, we talked. Me and Dave Free, we just talked. He never shouted.
All right, Act. Now see, you never said that part. You never said that part before. Now, here we go. You never said that you and Anthony Saleh had a shouting match. You never said that. At least I didn't hear that part from you. Maybe I missed that clip, but I watched it. You never said that. So that part of your story has changed already because you never said that. At least from what I seen. You could have said it. You could have said it, but from what I seen, you didn't say that. So
if I said that and I went to your show uninvited and I got marked out, y'all gotta do better, bro. Y'all gotta do better.
Marked out, it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Now you from TDE, boy. That's what Max said.
This is what it sound like when you ride on your...
you said that's what Mac said. Now, I don't know who Mac is. Maybe Mac is somebody from his camp saying that that's what he was told. That's what it said. But I'm going to say this. And I will say this. And even though Act's story has changed, he was there. So I can't sit here and say that I could say I believe he did get marked out because he did say that Dave Free asked him that. So I will agree with that. But at the same time, I'm only going to go off what Axe says. Even though I have to because I have to go off what Axe said because he was physically there, even though he could be lying. Right? He could have really got marked out. He could be lying. But I have to go off what he said because he was there. You know what I'm saying? Some people would say, well, you don't have to go off what he said. Well, if the narrator is telling the story, right, to someone, and then someone goes and tells the story to someone else, then someone else goes and tells you the story, how can you go off of what this person that came to you and told you the story? You can't go off of them because even if the narrator is lying, that means you carried a lie. If the narrator is telling half-truths, that means you carried the half-truth. But I have to go off the narrator. He told the story of what happened. Now, it could be debunked or it could be proven wrong, but I can't take what they're saying to be proven wrong because I didn't hear from the other narrator that was actually there. So once you hear from both narrators, then you can decipher or decide. But off of what the original narrator said, which would be Akademiks, I believe he got pressed. So, following me? Y'all following me? Okay, let's keep going.
In the me.
That's a fact. What up, bro?
Waxter?
Oli.
Ah, man. You know, I've been giving them a break for the last couple weeks. And decided to go ahead on, click it on with Fig Community and them dudes.
I saw your post just a couple seconds ago. That's why I got on the clubhouse.
Yeah, it's on. Clicking it on.
Say
Told
less.
out of them called me. I said, hey, listen, Wack, you didn't tell us. I ain't got to tell you nothing. It's on. That's it. We ride with Act. That's it. You know who you? I don't know what's going on. I see Act, T-Rail talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? When they asked them who you rolling with, they said we rolling with Rush Town Management. Who you rolling with? We rolling with Act. My nigga, that's it. Control your man or it's on. Wack, we from the wet. All that, bro. You know how the United States move. We got battleships in everybody waters. We need this oil over here. Of course we over here riding with these niggas. You think going on, right? You know what I'm saying? Act. We rolling with Act. Now I hope they ready.
Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I'm not really surprised by this because number one, Wack 100, even though he is from the West Coast, he's always submitted himself as being a standalone guy. And I think he's probably most likely going to roll with Ack on this because he's probably more closer to Ack. And he probably feels as though that Akademiks is right on certain things. And he probably feel like they bullying him. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know why he's rolling with Ack, to be honest with you. Those are just my thoughts on what I believe. But, I mean, I'm not surprised that he's rolling with Ack against them. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, Akademiks did tell what happened. He told a part of the story. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. He moved on from it. He did. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that, but he did move on from it. He moved on from it. You know what I'm saying? And he said what had happened, and that's it. I think that a lot of these dudes, they took an opportunity to try to get some views and clicks, which is fine because, again, if you're going to sensationalize, you can't be mad. That's why I say that even though they said what they said, I can't really be mad at them for doing what Akademiks does. He can't be mad at them either because that's what you do, bro. You sensationalize stories, so you can't be mad. You even told them that it's just streams. And now you feel some type of way that they're doing this to you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it.
Ready, baby. I hope they ready. Because we playing dirty. Yeah. All of them nervous. I done tagged everybody to it. They ain't even know I was tagging them. Yeah. Flacco say, Wack, what's happening? Who you riding with? That's it. We're going to see what's going on. You know, the content been dried up because I've been quiet over here watching what's going on from the mountaintop. So we're going to start a fire. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get them all on the clubhouse so we can, you know, pull up. Adam, everybody pull up. Nigga, what's happening? What's cracking? I even tagged 607 up. You over there? I don't even know what started it. I just know it's on.
It's on like a motherfucker.
On like Donkey Kong. I got a battery in my back.
I don't know if that's his wife in the background, girl. She funny as hell. It's on like a motherfucker. This is entertaining. This is entertaining to say the least. This is entertaining.
I don't even know who put it there. And T-Real say, what the f going on with Wack? Nigga called me, I said it's on. Bang the line.
All right, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, man. I keep saying it. And West Coast politics is funny. So the first thing is, Ack made some spicy comments about TDE, but then quickly switched it over to back on Fig. That's obviously a war he can win. Now, he didn't seem to back down from TDE, but he was very careful on how he expressed it. He like, if TDE wants smoke, I could turn it up. Apparently, TDE never thought it was even worth the smoke, but he wanted to let it know that he wouldn't back down. But then the attention focused to the back on Fig dudes because Ack is a big fish. They like a medium fish. They do their thing. But this is a war that he could definitely win. For Wack to pick Ack's side is going to be interesting because as a West Coast person, they going to look at him like a turncoat potentially when he really probably just doing this for content to have some fun. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think this is all just for content and to have fun. I don't see none of this as something serious. I really don't. I think a lot of y'all, and I'm be honest with y'all, a lot of y'all be wanting things to happen to people. Y'all be wanting things to happen. Like y'all want people to go all the way to the edge of something. Like y'all want it to happen, but I don't think that that's the case. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Talk after hours. You know what it is, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace. Bye.